Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
Hey, hello out there, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, October 31st. You know what that is, right? All Hallows Eve or something to that effect, which is Halloween. And apologize for starting a little bit late. It was getting a little bit hectic. People coming by, Candy, my great niece, and my wife's goddaughter, they were here and blah, blah, blah. But on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all enjoying your night with the trick or treating with the kids and stuff like that. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. To be honest with you, the four of us haven't collaborated that much at all. So a lot of it's going to be going from the shoulder. So we hope you enjoy the show, and let me bring on one of the boys and ladies and gentlemen, Mr. D. What's happening tonight? This Halloween night, Tuesday, October 31st, Mr. D.
I like the nameplates the way you have them. They look spooky. Happy Halloween to you, Blaze, and all the listeners and the future listeners we're going to get today, because I know this is going to get a little excitement going. And I send it back to you, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And without further reduction, let's bring on Mr. Donnie. Mr. Donnie, what's happening, my friend? And October 31st, Tuesday, Halloween, right here, the way we see it, FFN Network. What's going on, pal?
Chilling, man. Just hoping tomorrow's the last day of the so-called Arctic cold front, and we can get back in the 60s.
Yeah. For us,
it's some bullshit, man. No.
Yeah.
Cold, dog.
Yeah. Hey, I feel you, bro. It's like 39 right now. It's 39 here, and all I can say is I fucking blame Canada. Okay.
You're gonna blame Canada for Arctic winds that bring coldness.
Yes.
Are you serious, Blaze?
Yeah, we'll blame Canada. Yeah, all that shit comes from Canada, bro. It's their fucking fault. So, anyways, I'm glad you're here tonight, buddy. I'm glad you're here tonight. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen,
hang on.
He always has to have this massive introduction, because if not, it whines like a bitch after the show. You know what I mean? And I'll come in and get the big introduction and stuff. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him out, the one and only star of Politicking with Miss the B, the one and only, again, Mr. B.
In 36 degrees there at 10 minutes past 7 in the p.m. here in Epping, New Hampshire, home with three of New Hampshire's governors. Glad to be aboard, gentlemen. We're going to have a hell of a show tonight. An awful lot of talking off the cuff, off the shoulder, and rolling off our backs. With that having been said, Blazeman, thank you very much for having me in. Glad to see you, gentlemen. Let's get going.
Yes, sir.
So I gotta we know we know we're gonna hop on Israel's war. And the biggest questions for me is, well, we talked about here on the way we see it.
Hey, Blaze, time out. I just want to pick out something real quick. Why did you say it's Israel's war? Why didn't you say it was Hamas war?
Well, because that's what I'm getting at, bro.
No, you're not. I know where you're siding. Sir. I know where you're siding, bro.
Yes, sir. I'm not siding anywhere. I was just gonna say
I yield back.
to the nature of why isn't it called like the Middle East War or whatever? Why is it just called Israel's War?
I
Now you
think
didn't let me finish, bro, man. You already,
Right.
you know what I mean, trying to carve the turkey. People haven't said grace yet. You know what I'm saying?
people don't
So
say grace anymore.
yeah, well, I do in my house, whether
Yes,
you
sir.
believe that or not, brother.
I do. I
Gets
do.
done in my house. And giving thanks this upcoming Thanksgiving also. Anyways, again, my question to the audience who's watching, like and share us, please. You know what I mean? We're everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, D-Links, Kicks.
Fans only.
Nah, I don't know about fans only, bro. You can relax with that. But anyhow, so again, I'm gonna start with you, Mr. B. Mr. D's on a roll right now. So why is it just called Israel's war, man?
It's not Israel's war.
Well,
Now, they didn't pick the fight.
that's what I'm saying, man.
Hamas picked the fight. Israel's finishing it. And they're going to do it. And unfortunately, we're going to see other people trying to get in to sucker punch and get in and slam their fist down into the kidneys of Israel and whatever else. Anything and everything they can do in the name of solidarity with the rest of the Arab nations and so forth. It's not going to go over very well. But it is not Israel's war. Israel does not want war. They are, by all means, a peaceable country that is not a country of Jews. It is not a country of Christians. It is not a country of Muslims or Buddhists. It is a country that houses many peoples. And it is Holy Land and Mecca for many people. So to believe that it was Israel's war is wrong. And it should not continue to be stated as so.
I if I could cover real quick is I really believe that when somebody brings up when there's two fighting countries and the first one of a sentence is Israel, right there and then tells me the announcer has sympathy towards Israel versus Hamas. And I you don't see too many Hamas introductions when it comes to this war. Help me out here, Donnie. We're gonna open
Well,
up on whose side are you on? I don't know if this was too
um,
soon.
I'm not on a side either way because I know I don't think that the enemy Hamas and Israel can coexist in the same universe. Biden was talking about a two-state entity, for post-war. No, I don't. That's not going to happen, man. I don't think.
Right.
I don't think everybody's looking at the war as a outcome that somebody's going to win something. I don't think this is a war for winning something or having control. This is something that dates back to biblical times with Jacob and Esau and the whole trickery thing. And there's some extremists that they don't believe Israel as a state even has the right to exist to govern themselves. And as far as they're concerned, that's their land. You're going to do what we say. And that two-state shit, go ahead and do that. And then Hamas is funded by Iran, so you're just going to let Iran over there and do what they do with two different sides, keep fucking with Israel. It's just not going to end. This ends when, like a fight between two brothers. It ends when one of them don't get up no more. And so I think if people would stop trying to figure it out, you might get further than this whole prediction, or you want to name names and name it anything. What's the difference between the Israeli Hamas Israeli war? What's the difference in the name? They're fighting, and I don't think
No,
the world
no,
understands this.
no.
You're not going to
It's
solve this.
no.
Well, look what we've had for, if you will, named wars over before. You've got the Yom Kippur War, and you've got the 6 Days War. And I mean, How many different ways are you going to pussyfoot around the fact that there's a war going on while you're trying to pin it on the shoulders of Israel? And none of these wars have been started by the Israeli state. None of them.
But that's my whole point. I'm saying right there, we're trying to, when we're talking about it, we're talking about, oh, we can see a timeline, and you're looking at it in the ways that you want to point a finger and point blame. You can't look at this and point blame anymore. This isn't about, politics or, anything like that. This is about the right to exist for a group of people.
Wait.
And for
How
them
in
to
the hell
govern
in this
themselves.
do you not point the finger and say this was Hamas's doing? How do you not do that?
Because the Hamas people are saying that attack they just did was retaliation from shit from maybe 2 years ago.
For what?
So they could say very well it was for retaliation for some shit that happened 2 years ago. That's how some of them. Whatever. I'm just saying that's the point I'm trying to make about. We keep talking about what's going on over there, and we talk about it from a perspective that negotiations and politics or some of that shit's going to solve this issue. This issue ain't getting solved till somebody doesn't get up. Maybe till somebody's not breathing.
People that are saying that videos that they took themselves, that they live streamed themselves of horrific things, crimes against humanity being committed, were Jewish lies, that they didn't happen.
Okay, but that's propaganda. You got to pick and choose what you want to believe from that.
Why do they call it propaganda anyway? That's proper about it.
You can't point fingers at this and think that it's going to solve it, and think that that's a way that you're going to create a way to fix the issues that exist between these two groups. You're not fixing that. We're not fixing it until somebody doesn't get up. Probably till a lot of people aren't breathing no more.
Well, that's what needs to be done.
That's going to end.
And Israel has now committed to doing exactly that.
Exactly. So that's where, once again, I think it goes to, you can say what side you want to be on, but a lot of people ain't willing to see what goes on in war, and they're not willing to go far enough to finish war.
Benjamin Netanyahu came out and he said it when he made his address. We didn't want this war, but you want a war, you've got a war. And he as much said as that they are going to finish it.
Mr. D, would you like to read the first comment of the night? I'm throwing it up.
Okay. Our first comment comes from T12 Group Intelligence Analyst. Israel is defending itself. Hamas started. Hezbollah joined in. Why should anyone have sympathy for Hamas? That's just a bad idea.
Donnie?
I'm not having sympathy for Hamas. Ain't nobody saying that. What most everybody's having sympathy for is probably say there's 100 Hamas members for every 100,000 people in the Gaza Strip or whatever. Yeah, those people, you can't get aid in. That's what people are pissed off with Israel for. You stopped aid. You didn't let it come in. Well, that's a part of war, people. Don't be pissed off at them. The fact that Hezbollah joining in with Hamas to act up at the same time, they've been doing that shit for decades too. It's just escalated. They got better technology because our administration let funds go into international, circulation that went right back to funding fucking groups to do that shit. So, but I'm tired not really say tired, but I see this as a totally different version of what most everybody else sees, and I'm just
Can you share that version? Maybe we do have the same vision.
This is something like back in the day, first the rights. When someone dies, the oldest son. I went through it with my father when he was in Tucson in the ER bed. They did a Red Cross because they had to come from Kuwait. Guess what? Law says because whatever reason, he's the oldest, he gets primary responsibility. That's the same shit about, some people relate this back to when Esau tricked Jacob into getting the first rights of that land, which back in those days spent from probably what is Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, all kinds of shit. And so that's where the fight is for some of these guys, especially from the Hamas side, the religious side. That's their land. They own that. You need to get the hell up out of here. We don't believe in Christianity. You're not going to practice that kind of stuff here. We're not going to live with you. So that's why they attack. That's why I say this isn't.
But Christianity exists there too, Donnie.
I understand it exists, but we're talking about
landmarks.
What? I'm talking about the root cause of where this whole argument and this fight comes from. Some of them believe it that much back to biblical times like that. You can't just go in there and talk and be political and say, "Oh, we're going to come to a compromise." The motherfuckers don't want to compromise.
All right. Hayseed, I can put a kibosh on that one right now by saying one thing.
What?
If it all goes back to biblical times, then why is the Western Wall standing there? The last standing wall from the temple built by King David, who, by the way, Jews, hello?
Oh, no. I'm talking, you want to talk about landmarks, I'm talking about a mentality. What the fuck goes on in somebody's ears, between their ears and their head? What the hell? I'm talking about a mentality, a way a person thinks. There's some people from Hamas, they don't want.
Yes, and you're talking about radical Muslims.
Yes, radical Muslims, that's what they are. No different than radical Catholics or radical Mormons that come knocking on your door, follow you down.
Or radical MAGA.
And shit, whatever. Every religion has them. We're talking about a mentality and to go into war. Everybody on the news is talking about physical or this. They don't talk about the mentality to beat an extremist. That's the kind of mentality. That's what I'm saying. You got to have this. This isn't ending until like me and Big Brother were fighting over the last piece of cake.
Yeah, this is from I-12.
Got the cake.
This is from I-12. Ghazians had the opportunity to leave, and they chose not to. So don't confuse the two.
Confuse the two of what?
I'm saying I don't know.
Yeah.
Confuse the two.
You could say they had a choice to leave, but okay, let's think about the choice that some people had to leave. They're gonna leave and go where? Where to where? Who's taking them in right now?
Well, they're telling them to go to the south border. They're telling them to go there.
Think about it. A peaceful Muslim, what they want to do. Let me go to Syria, where the same fucking war is going on, and the same shit happens to me from the extremists. No, thank you. Do I want to go to Iran? No, then women getting beat. Do I want to go to Iraq? Same damn shit.
Right. Where the fuck these people go?
Leave. Yeah. Some of them be old and say, fuck it. I'm 7 years old. This is where I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I ain't leaving. So don't have pity for that shit and try to turn it into a sob story. That's just a part of fucking life. War or not war. So don't do that shit.
So is this... And Donnie, I totally understand your radical approach on this.
Radical approach?
Yeah, no, because I've seen them Muslim folks, not as many as Donnie's seen, but shit, all they do all day is drink tea and talk about how the West sucks. And this was in Iraq, I was seeing this, and in Saudi.
Right.
And I would like to talk about Saudi later, or we can go off the Palestine and Israeli war. Y'all call. I'm sorry, Mr. B.
Gentlemen, if you don't mind, I would like to read a statement. Is that all right to you guys?
Okay, read a statement. What's the statement?
Do we need a fact check?
No.
Okay.
It's a personal statement. To any persons and friends or followers who hold angst and disdain for the Israeli people and those who practice Judaism, I am unhappy with your tone about Israel and Jewish persons. It gives me no pride in our relationship. For 40 years, I have worked in the jewelry trade. There were Christians, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, and whatever else persons I have dealt with. But I must tell you that no one wanted to deal with an unknown kid. It was a Jewish man who first trusted me. It was a Jewish man who helped introduce me around and open doors for me that otherwise never would have been opened or slammed in my face. And it was a Jewish man that helped me keep busy earning money, feeding my wife and myself during a time of terrible economic downturn. I would be remiss and disloyal to my friends Allison Karsh, Joe Keesing, Shahin Nagy, Dick Jacobson, Joe Can, Harry Solomon, Michael Goldstein, Jeffrey Rosenberg, Sig Walder, a survivor of a Nazi death camp in Auschwitz, Rob Walder, his son, Mel Weiner and Mark Weiner, father and son, Al Shear, Sherman Schatz, Shlomo Gottlieb, Monty Kroner, and so many more people. No, sir, I do not care for words of demonstrating disdain for people based upon how they commune with the Almighty God. As your friend, I encourage you to re examine your point of view. You are smart, and I know you can do it. And that is addressed to anyone that I know who has recently come out and started saying things that sounded in any way against the people of Israel. And I thank you for your time, for the time you've given me.
Okay.
I don't understand any of that. What was that about?
No, that sounds like the same thing I'm
I
saying.
have
That sounds like
seen
somebody.
I have seen a tremendous increase in people that are starting to come out against Jewish people again.
Yeah.
Anti-Semitism.
Yes.
It is
Yes,
wrong.
yes.
It does not belong, and I'm calling it out. And I'm manning up and facing up and saying, look, it's wrong, and I'm not going to put up with it.
This is in Times Square, New York. I don't understand this.
What
It's
don't you
United
understand?
States,
I know it's the United States.
Right.
What don't
Right
I
there,
understand is, I mean, why are people see this is the confusing part, okay?
this is real good.
People
Go ahead, Blaze.
people are protesting what? What are they protesting? Are they
They're protesting the same thing. There's a side
What?
that says, "Hey, I want to deal with Israel," and I'm on their side. Then you got the side that says, "No, we're on the side with Palestinians because they're peaceful people. It's just the
But
radical
why
ass
don't the people
motherfuckers."
that are protesting say that they understand that Hamas is the enemy? And yeah, we're protesting because we don't want to see, Palestinians getting bombed anymore. Yeah, you understand that part. But who is really in favor of who?
What the,
Do you
what
think
is
that
it?
there's more? Donnie, I mean, I'm sorry you don't
I'm so
understand the
confused.
question.
Yeah, I
Blaze,
don't
the
think
UN
the question.
Security Council has been blasted because they will not come out against the
Hamas.
Palestinian attacks that have been
Stop saying the
made.
Palestinian attacks. I think that's what the fucking confusion is. The Palestinian people are not attacking Israel. Hamas is attacking Israel.
Exactly.
Okay?
So get the
A terrorist group backed by Iran. Stop saying Palestinians are
My
attacking
mistake.
Israel.
I own that one. My bad.
Exactly.
They're not just you, Mr. B. Anybody. I mean, that's all I hear.
You need to give Blaze the cowbell.
So go ahead, Donnie.
No, I talked to Mr. What is that? IT2 Group Intelligence Analyst, the guy with feelings for Hamas. I don't have feelings for Hamas. I'll shoot them some bitches right now if you put them in front of me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So let's understand that right fucking now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
what I'm telling you, I'm trying to get people to understand.
Right there, target practice.
I-12. Yeah. That was
mentality. You got to understand the mentality of your
you
enemy
don't know
if you're
you're
gonna
either,
fucking
Donnie,
win.
so it's okay. It's all right.
What is this video?
Donnie has credentials. And anything Donnie and Mr. D come up with as far as Middle East goes, they're on the up and up. That's all I got to say.
Blaze, if I was shit wrong, Donnie would slap me all over on this show. But that's all fucking them radical Muslims that live in Iraq and that whole area. They talk about how fucked up the West is.
Yes.
And how they fucked up their life.
Yes. They don't want us there. And it's not just the radicals. There's a lot of other, just people living in that part of the world. They're like, hey, man, this is not working out. You need to go, man. It's great. Yeah, do whatever, but nah, your democracy shit ain't for us. Get the hell up out of here. And we don't listen. We keep
Shit.
going in. Okay.
And shit, but you know something? This place has been battles before as well. Shit, I was looking up a little history. The Portuguese and the Spaniards fought for this land over here, and especially around the Golan Heights. That area is enriched. There's a lake there. I think it's Lake Tobias, and it feeds rivers, and that is a big deal of what they want to control.
This is what.
And
Go ahead, bro.
this no, this is fact. And they had a gentleman, Eli Cohen. That rings a bell to you, don't it, Mr. B?
You like Cohen? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, it was just this and how the Russians were involved then, and this was in the '60s. They were using jamming gear to catch this guy fucking Morse coding out of Syria back to Israel, and he was giving them everything, the good coordinates, all of it. Anyways, getting back to the Russian involved, they used to use jamming equipment. They would shut the whole power down in the city, and they would pick up where the traces were coming. And I'm thinking, wow, if the Russians were around then, what makes you think they're not there now? Why this can get real ugly? There's interest here for Russia as well. Nobody's talked about that. And I believe Russia has troops in Syria still.
I can name one industry that Russia has a lot of ties to in Israel.
What's that one?
What's
Oil and
that?
natural gas? What?
Diamonds. One of the largest and greatest cutting centers in the world is in Israel.
Okay.
Some of the best diamond cutters in the world are there. And some of the largest, most productive diamond fields are in Russia.
Diamond fields or diamond mines?
Fields.
Okay,
That's
so
where the
diamonds
mines
are just
go.
laying on
They
top
go
of
to,
the
yeah,
field?
where the fields where they are, and they mine the fields.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, we'll get into that,
um,
ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about that.
You.
I don't know
I don't
about
know.
that, but
Yeah.
we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for more of The Way We See It. Like and share us. Hey, give your friends a call right now. Good show going on. And we'll be right back in about 3.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
I hear the sound, stumbling laughter, holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight.
That was years ago.
Now something just ain't right.
Better take it slow.
I see the view stretching before us, cathedral bells and a chorus, morning larks singing out to the dawn. I miss me and you, boy, with style, on our bikes, single file, day drinking at a cafe in Cologne. We stayed out playing past midnight.
That was years ago.
Now something just ain't right.
Better take it slow.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for the rest of the way we see it. This is our second segment of the night, which I'm sure it's going to, keep lingering on with the Israel war. But we still, two panel guests ain't back. You know, my brother, you're the only one I know that knows how to tell time.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
I'm sitting right here.
I know.
What
I
you
didn't
talking
feel
about?
like yelling out Donnie.
Whatever, dude. Shut up.
I know you're there.
Whatever,
Listen
man.
to the way you talk to me. Listen to you. God
Whatever.
damn it.
Whatever,
Listen,
man. Whatever.
I want to know why.
oh,
Move on, bro.
diggity dog.
Yeah, move on,
Asshole.
man. Move on, man.
All right. Okay. I want to know why this is happening in Israel. This is in Israel. People protesting.
Yeah,
This
man.
is
Because
parliament.
yeah, and
You
Yeah,
know,
then
man. They don't like some of them laws neither. They're really upset about some of that shit. I don't
okay.
know what about it exactly it is. Never really read up with it, but I know there's certain things that they were trying to pass, and there's a lot of people who are like, no, that ain't happening, man. We don't want that.
All right. So they're protesting against a bill, a law that was passed.
no, they're blasting Netanyahu, his war tactics.
Mr. B.
Good evening. Welcome back. Yeah, I have no idea what is going on right there at the Israeli parliament. There's some people that are protesting the war, and there's some people who are saying let the war run. And I think I think they're doing things in support of themselves.
No, I thought you had an answer.
No, I don't. I was letting you know that I. Sorry, it took me a moment ago, and I wanted to. I'm not only walking the walk. I'm talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. The Israeli people
Oh,
that are in the
oh,
UN
oh.
Security Council did this. They put on the yellow stars that their people had to wear when they were in Nazi Germany. So in support of them, and also it says
Who
never
made them
again.
wear that? Who made them wear that?
The Nazis did.
No. I'm talking recent. I know the Nazis made them wear it. Who protested with that on them like that?
The
Just a random
Israeli
protester,
delegates
or
to the UN because the UN is not condemning the Hamas attacks.
right? Right. So you're saying a representative went in with the star.
They went in and actively put the stars on while they were speaking before the UN Security Council today.
And saying, look, this is genocide all over again, like the
Yeah,
Nazis.
and they vowed that they are going to continue wearing them until the UN cleans this act up and joins in condemning this.
Well, that's just the thing. I don't understand,
Oh, Blaze,
Donnie.
I was reading some stuff on your little judicial reform stuff, and basically a lot of them saying that the way the judicial reforms, the first one that passed, it gives the government more control to, they gives granting the government control over judicial appointments and limiting the authority of its legal advisors. It's basically giving the government more control over who's in what positions all the way up to their Supreme Court. Fuck yeah, if I'm living in Israel, I'm like, hell no. That's nothing more than another step into socialism. You can control who's on the courts at the highest level. Well, then, of course, you can influence law.
So it's not about this. It's not about Israel engaging in wartime
Well,
activities.
of course, some of it is. Of course, there's people out there in those protests that I'm gonna use my little spotlight. I'm gonna try to get my 15 minutes of fame. And
N12.
they're trying to, they're trying to get somewhere. Of course it is. And of course
N12 is
there's everybody.
yes.
Well, what?
N12 is their website for the Israelis. That's one of their
Okay,
stations.
I mean, of course they are, but I don't blame them for that. Hell no, that sounds like going into socialism.
What station was that again? I said. And what?
Yourself. I don't know.
Well, see, you weren't paying attention to me
No,
again,
man, because
Donnie.
you flapping your gums about nonsense, probably.
Hot damn it, Blaze, flag 'em.
I just I don't understand, man. Everybody's
Oh,
all, but let's understand this war. Let's try to talk about it from if you're on this side with Israel. If I'm an Israeli and I've been doing this, you're trying to tell me I can't exist on this earth. That's what you're basically telling me. You're telling me I don't have the right to govern myself as a people. I don't have the right to exist. You want to exterminate me. Hell yes, I'm going to start fucking people up. And I don't give a shit who gets in the way. I told you, hey, get out the way. Yeah, I know some people can't, but you can't blame Israel for saying enough's enough. And that's where I think a lot of media, they want to blame Israel, but there's really no one to blame. I mean, how about we blame the media for exploiting what's, the ugliness of it and exploiting all the little small details of it so it can linger on instead of, hey, let's figure out, how we're going to help everybody after this is over with. Because the conflict's still coming.
Let me see. The media is interested in one thing and one thing only. What's going to sell more newspapers? What's going to
Exactly.
increase viewership? What's going to increase listeners and whatever else? And that's what it
what,
comes down to. Because
and what,
it's all about the almighty dollar or the buck or the shekel
right.
or the
Okay.
pound or the euro or whatever it is.
Exactly.
But
So
that's what
take
they're
all that,
catering to. They don't give a
take all
fiddler's
that,
fuck
listen.
about who's right and who's wrong.
Well, then take all that in consideration and why everybody want to get so pissed off when half the news media want to blame Israel and say it's their fault. That's just to sell a dollar. There's nothing else behind it. So why
That's
everybody
it.
gets so
It's to
pissed
sell
off?
advertising and to get airtime.
Exactly. So why get so mad and irate and do stupid stuff then? Explain that to me.
they can end this quickly. Just flood out them tunnels, man. Flood out them tunnels. They can flush them from the top, from the bottom. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
got a little visitor, D Shepherd. He is following us from the Filipino Islands. Hello, Mr. D. Welcome on.
Hey, that's not Mr. D from El Paso.
Yes, it is, bro.
Ah, shit. What's up, Mr. D?
Just
Sweet.
little army buddies there, Blaze and Mr.
Yeah,
B.
man. But
Okay.
I don't agree with your
You're
flushing
welcome.
out thing, Demas. I
The
don't
what?
agree.
Wait a minute.
I
Say
don't
that
agree
again.
with you. I don't agree with flushing them out. First of all, you need to know how many tunnels there are. Do you have all of them? No. Do you have a
Wait,
map of it at least? Probably not. And then
it,
what happens in 25 years, 10 years down the road? That ground is already salty. That ground is already soft. Caliche. You know what happens? It doesn't hold well to support shit. You go flood that out and you wash all that away. What the hell you got underneath? More buildings going to collapse. You just cause more damage.
yes, sir.
I mean, is it?
But
You got to look at
wait a
what
minute.
damage is
Well,
useful.
let's. All right, then let's talk collateral damage. What is going to have less effect on the civilian populace? I would think it's the floodings. The
Yes, I will
least.
give you. I
The
will give
least.
you that. Yeah, I could. Yeah, okay.
Until the Hamas people
Dude, and
start taking people and rounding them up and sending them down into the tunnels, waiting to get drowned alive.
exactly. And the
But
technology we have, shit, they don't have them in Harbor Freight yet, but they're probably in production. These guys come on your property and check for gas lines and cable lines and all this shit, and it's handheld. It's not a big item. I think the identification would be no problem.
man,
Do you
I
know how
still
many
don't.
millions of
I don't know.
gallons of seawater they'd have
Seawater.
to pump into that damn thing to get it all
Exactly.
flooded?
Exactly. At some point, you're just going to turn the Gaza Strip into a big fucking lake. That's all you're doing if you do that.
You
You're trying
drown
to do everything else.
you drown the rats.
Okay, but do all the rats always stay in those tunnels? No, we don't know where all the rats are.
I call
So
'em I call 'em
I'm sorry.
Now, this
I,
ain't
I'm
no
not.
Ninja Turtles, Donnie, Raphael
I'm.
and shit.
I know that, but you don't know where they're all at. You
I'm more
honestly
in
don't
favor
know.
of blowing the tunnels.
So you got to tell everybody that's living in the apartment complex below that, hey, we're gonna blow that, and you need to find somewhere else to live,
Yeah,
or they're just gonna come home one day and it's gonna be gone. Once
it's
again, are you ready to accept that collateral damage and understand? These guys use schools, these groups. They use medical offices, medical, emergency rooms, hospitals. That's the kind of shit they dug under and they use for protection. So you better be ready to blow that shit up too. Tread very lightly. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You gotta figure it out. Urban warfare just ain't fucking go blow everything up.
Besides this conflict, this conflict here between Hamas and Israel, I was kind of like not a greenhorn to it. What's Israel? Shit, I didn't know fucking the goat. There's the Gaza City, and then there's another place, and one place is patrolled by the Israel, and they're all fine, but it's the ones on the Gaza Strip. It'll come to me, and I'll pull out the map too.
Okay.
But no shit, Donnie, that jacked me up. No, you just blew my whole concentration.
I'm just. My whole thing was look at it from the Israeli side. If you're an Israeli, or maybe you could put your shoes in them. You're telling me I don't exist. You're basically, I'm fighting for my livelihood as an individual, because if I don't fight, at some point they're going to keep coming. They're not going to stop coming and trying to take over my way of life.
Yeah. Shit. What? I'm looking. No, I'm just going back, and I'm thinking about that young Israel kid that's going to a university, and he's got his hat on, and he's got his Orthodox curls going down. How he feels walking in the streets now these days. And I can't compare this, but we're gonna get to the era when America people were shitting on black people. I don't know. I can't say the comparisons, but being a novice and you read this book of history, how the blacks before that was the Nazis with the Jews, then the blacks got treated like shit. We had a good era. And then now we seeing this again, but switch with the Israelis, walking the streets of America. Right. Yeah, and granted, that lady, the rabbi minister, she wasn't murdered in despite of being a Jewish. There was a little love triangle or some bullshit coming there.
Okay, but the feeling that you're talking about is all over the United States, and it covers every race, Demas. That's the point where I'm always talking about, as people, as individuals, we need to understand there's certain parts of this world where we're not welcome. We don't need to be. I understand that completely. So you got to be willing to understand that and know that. So don't go there. Don't go there and raise hell. And everybody's always, like the protest. Everybody, you're always asking about protests. That's how people get seen now. I got to have my 15 minutes of fame. I got to be heard. Everybody acts like they got to be heard. No, you don't have to be heard. Not everybody wants to hear your fucking opinion. It's okay. It doesn't hurt your feelings. You're not going to be any miserable for it. Life's not going to be any better or different. Sometimes it's no. So, I don't know.
No, good statement. Good statement, brother.
People are going to walk down that way, and there's always going to be ignorant people. But once again, we always talk about, let's make a law or something to change that. And you can't.
We got a video coming up. Mr. Blazeman, you got something to show us?
He's muted.
You're muted there, Blaze.
Yes, I'm going to launch this video right now, ladies and gentlemen. Shut up, D.
To discuss the war in Israel as pressure mounts on the global body for refusing to condemn Hamas's attack. Yesterday, Israel's ambassador wore a yellow star similar to those worn by Holocaust victims.
Today, the world is watching the rise of a Shia Islamist Reich. Yet, just like the rise of Nazism, the world is silent. Deafeningly silent. Some of you have forgotten why this body was established. So I will remind you, from this day on, each time you look at me, you will remember what staying silent in the face of evil means. Just like my grandparents and the grandparents of millions of Jews, from now on, my team and I will wear yellow stars.
Wow. Eric Sean, live outside the United Nations right now. Eric, has the UN responded to the ambassador's protest?
Well, the Secretary General spokesman only says that the Secretary General has condemned Hamas by name, but that's not the case here in the United Nations for many others. You know, the world body was founded in the aftermath of World War II and the Holocaust to prevent future atrocities, but now it is being shamed because, believe it or not, the diplomats here not only cannot condemn Hamas by name, but they do not condemn the radical Islamic terrorism. You saw that blunt message from the Israeli ambassador Gilad Erdan during the Security Council yesterday, wearing that yellow star, echoing what the Nazis forced Jews to wear in Germany. His stark message comes after the General Assembly overwhelmingly passed a resolution that not only failed to criticize Hamas, but never mentions it.
We will wear this star until you condemn the atrocities of Hamas and demand the immediate release of our hostages. We walk with a yellow star as a symbol of pride, a reminder that we swore to fight back, to defend ourselves. Never again is now.
Because of this, the Czech Republic's defense minister says her country should leave the UN, posting on X, quote, "I am ashamed of the UN. In my opinion, the Czech Republic has no place in an organization that cheers on terrorists and does not respect the fundamental right to self-defense. Let's get out." Others, like Ambayevsky, the director of the Toro College Institute on Human Rights and the Holocaust, says by equating Hamas together with Israel, the United Nations diplomats have forfeited any legitimacy.
Mr. B, your reaction.
You said that it needed to be done, but they're doing it, and they're going to keep doing it, and I'm going to keep doing it. I will stand in support of Israel to the very day that I die, because that is what needs to be done. That is what is right. That is what is proper. And if you don't stand up in the face of bullies, of terrorists, then they will succeed. And we cannot, I will not let that happen.
Mr. D.
I'll yield to Donnie. I wanted to go somewhere other direction.
Bo, I don't understand. What is everybody's not, but coming out and said the tax are bullshit. We know that. The UN making that kind of statement, I don't see that serves any purpose. What's it going to do? The taxes are still they've already happened. The what's going to happen as far as Israel's plans going forward are going to happen as they see fit. So I really don't understand why make a big deal out of it. What's the matter? What does it really matter, honestly? It's not going to do shit for anybody. So why harp on it? And then you make decisions and judgment about we're going to leave the UN. Well, if you believe it that much, then take your ass on. Maybe the U.S. can leave that some bitch too, and we can stop fucking around.
Donnie, what is your solution to put an end to it? End to it, then, if anything is just fucking leave it alone, let it happen.
No, that's what my end to it is. Let Israel do what they need to do. And if you're going to pick a side, as the U.S., if you're going to pick a side and get into this, you better go all the way down and take it all the way to Iran. Because that's where 90% of the funding and everything comes from, Iran.
I think we made our stand as a country.
And Israel's gonna fight until it's done. You listen to their statements, listen to the words. Never again. We're gonna forever remind you. Blah blah blah. They don't have a plan to. Oh, okay. Everybody says we're okay. We spat you back down.
Right.
No, they're terminating some motherfuckers.
Right.
So get out the way, and it's what it is. As far as the U.S., you got to make a choice. I think either you're in it and you're going all the way, or you're gonna stand the fuck out. But I just don't think everybody, I think philosophy-wise, mentality-wise, don't expect this to end with some politics and some signed agreement. I don't think that shit's happening this time.
Well, but that's just it. So, I mean...
You know what struck me on that speech that Israeli ambassador to the UN said? He called the Islamic terrorists Reich. The same thing they were called in Germany, the Third Reich.
Reich means um, like a kingdom.
Yes, yes, yes,
Do you know what it means?
yes.
Hmm.
But no, and it's
And
I'm
why you know what it means? Because you spent 10 years in
11,
Germany, 11 years in Germany. Exactly.
Should have married a German. I ended up marrying a Mexican.
Oh
Did
my
better.
God, I'm telling you.
I'm serious.
You'd have a fat ass right now, though, eating all them matzo balls and shit. You know what I mean?
No, they don't eat matzo balls. Different,
A
Oh
different,
God.
lot
different
of
ethnic
sausage.
group. No, but getting back to this fight and shit. Um, I just seeing this can really explode real large, and I'm just looking for migrants that fled Muslim countries during the time, and Germany comes right to mind. And that there's been little uprising in Germany because they accepted a lot of refugees back in the time under Angela Merkel.
Yes, they did.
And I would, if terror cell activity starts jumping in Europe, they're here or they're planning to be here.
Well, I'm going to
Yeah,
go where
I,
this
I, I,
cells here. This
I, I,
cells.
c- I could see that migration level of violence going. When I was serving in Germany, my first time, fuck, there was a kid from Fall River, 30 years old, died out there in Germany. I was stationed there. I don't remember location and stuff. They killed him for his ID card to get access to an army installation to photograph it. So and in Europe, them blowing up planes and shit. That was all terrorist groups there. And I know there's sleeping cells there or rejuvenated cells. Man, they put a lot of fear in traveling in Europe them days. Now and then with the U.S. positioned in the Persian Gulf, you got one carrier group right there. Iran is a toss of a rock away, and then on the other side of this,
We got two carrier groups in
yep,
the Red
what,
Sea, right?
yep, and then on the other side, Red Sea, no, Mediterranean
I'm
Sea.
sorry, Mediterranean.
Yes, yes.
And then there's the strip, right?
No, but there's another carrier group there, and that's the Ford, I believe it is. The
If
Ford
I'm
and the
not mistaken, I
Eisenhower.
believe they have three carrier groups now, and there's talk of sending a fourth.
And
Well, I
unless,
think they did send a fourth out.
Okay.
well, if they're going to count, and they probably will, that marine carrier, the Baton, that's the name of it. They possibly call that as a carrier group too, because it does have a landing deck. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. Well,
So this can blow up real quick. Everything is in position for it. You gotta look at it. Everything is in position.
I'm still kind of wondering, and of course, that's all that's going to happen is wonder. With all of the surface craft that are there, what for submarine cover do they have?
What these strike groups? The
Yeah. What others? What submarines might be down looming below?
That's classified.
Oh, I'm sure of that. I know that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they're sending all of these surface craft, they've got to have.
I would say as a betting man, 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Yeah, it's
And at least two of those have to be boomers. At least two.
yes, sir. Donna, you with us?
Oh, I'm with y'all. I'm listening
Yep.
to y'all. You
Okay.
worried about carrier groups?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got a video that we're gonna play, and it's about 8 minutes long, and that's going to take us right to break. So we're going to play the video, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to explain as much as possible to everybody who's tuning in. And if you got any questions, you can post them in the comments. Please like and share the show on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and, all them fun things that we're connected to. If we're connected to you but can't receive a comment, please share us on your platform anyhow. It would be much appreciated. With that being said, we're going to throw this video up, and we will discuss this video after we come back from break. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around and enjoy.
This video is going to summarize the main languages, religions, and ethnic groups of the Middle East and briefly explain some of the minority ethnic groups. Where the Middle East exactly is and why it has that name could be its own video, but for the purposes of this video, the Middle East is a region at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa. It has no strict definition, but usually includes Egypt, Turkey, Iran, Syria, Iraq, Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Afghanistan and Cyprus are sometimes included in the definition, but those countries could be their own videos. Technically, every country could be its own video, but since the ethnic groups often span multiple countries, this video will put them in a broader context. Ethnicity is a complicated concept for when groups of people identify with one another based on shared language, religion, and cultural traditions. The main religions of the Middle East are Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Islam is by far the most common religion in the Middle East, but most Muslims live outside the Middle East. Some of the countries where the majority of the population is Muslim are in North Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia. A significant number of Muslims live on the east coast of Africa, but they're only the majority in Somalia. Albania and Bosnia have slight Muslim majorities, with the Christian minorities and the irreligious making up just less than 50% of the population. Kosovo is a Muslim-majority country which is not recognized by the United Nations, but it is recognized by many UN members. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Malaysia, and Indonesia are also Muslim-majority countries. Due to these countries' high populations, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Bangladesh are first, second, and fourth in the world by total number of Muslims. The country with the third highest Muslim population is actually India, despite only about 14% of the population being Muslim. It's just that India's population of over 1.3 billion is so high that 14% is over 180 million. The country with the fifth highest number of Muslims is Nigeria, with a total population of 190 million, which is about 40% Muslim, mostly in the north, representing over 90 million people. In the Middle East, most of the countries are majority Muslim, but Israel is majority Jewish. As well, there are significant Christian minorities all over the Middle East. Most notably is Lebanon, where over 40% of the population is Christian. It gets even more complicated though. Islam is divided into two main groups, Sunni and Shia. The majority of Muslims worldwide are Sunni, but Shia Muslims are concentrated in the Middle East. It is common for Sunni and Shia Muslims to live in the same country, but in general, Iran, Azerbaijan, and the south of Iraq are Shia, while the north of Iraq is Sunni. Shia Muslims are also concentrated in the interior of Turkey and Afghanistan, and the coastal region of Syria and Lebanon. The people of the island of Bahrain and the nearby Saudi coast are Shia, but the royal family of Bahrain, and therefore the politically powerful class, is Sunni. Northern Yemen and neighboring parts of Saudi Arabia are Shia, while the rest of Yemen is Sunni. This divide, coupled with the fact that the north and south have only been unified since 1990, contributes to the tensions in the Yemeni civil war. The country of Oman has its own sect of Islam called Ibadism, which predates the Sunni-Shia split. Iran and Saudi Arabia use the Sunni-Shia divide to compete for influence in the Middle East, with Iran generally supporting Shias and Saudi Arabia generally supporting Sunnis. The religious divide is accompanied by a language divide, with Iran speaking Persian and the rest of the Middle East, except Israel and Turkey, speak Arabic. Overall, the most common languages in the Middle East are Arabic, Turkish, Persian, Kurdish, and Hebrew, which can be split into three language families of related languages. Persian and Kurdish are both in the Iranian branch of the Indo-European language family. This means they are closely related to each other and distantly related to some of the languages of Europe and India. Persian is the official language of Iran, though many other languages are spoken, such as Kurdish, which is also spoken in parts of Turkey, Iraq, and Syria, but it is only an official language in Iraq along with Arabic. The official language of Turkey is Turkish, which is in the Turkic language family. Turkish is closely related to Azerbaijani and Turkmen, and more distantly related to the other languages in Central Asia. In Israel, the majority language is Hebrew, but both Hebrew and Arabic are official languages. Arabic and Hebrew are related Semitic languages which are part of the Afro-Asiatic language family. There are certainly minority languages all over, but Arabic is the official language of the rest of the countries of the Middle East. Except Arabic isn't really a single language, it's a bunch of regional dialects that are often barely understandable to one another. Arabic speakers will often know their own local dialect, as well as modern standard Arabic that is used in writing and with speakers of other Arabic dialects. This is similar to the situation in China, where there are many regional dialects all considered to be Chinese, but the Mandarin dialect is used in formal contexts. The difference being that Standard Arabic is not any region's local dialect, while Mandarin is local to some parts of China. Most Arabic speakers are Arab, but there are plenty of non-Arab ethnic groups which speak Arabic. Arabic originated in the Arabian Peninsula, and many minority ethnic groups exist in the rest of the Arabic-speaking world. In some cases, such as in the North African Maghreb, the local Berbers mixed with the Arabs, though the Berber language and identity still exists in some regions. In other areas, the local groups remain distinct, and they live alongside Arabs and have adopted the Arabic language for convenience. For example, the Copts are a predominantly Christian ethnic group living in Egypt that represent about 10% of the population. In Lebanon, most of the Christians are in a group called the Maronites, though other Christian groups exist. The current president of Syria is an Alawite, which is a Muslim group that speaks Arabic and lives near the coast of Syria, but they are Shia in a country that is majority Sunni. This contributed to the tensions which led to the Syrian civil war, the main cause being that the president refused to step down following mass protests for democratic reform. The Druze are an ethno-religious group that lives in Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Israel, and speak Arabic. They have their own distinct religion, which is similar to, but does not fit in with any of the main three religions of the region. Some minority languages also exist. The Assyrians are a predominantly Christian ethnic group in Iraq and Syria that speak a Semitic language called Aramaic. The Kurdish language is a minority in all the countries the Kurds inhabit, but Iraqi Kurdistan has recently gained high levels of autonomy due to the Iraq War. The Iraqi Civil War was caused by the Syrian Civil War spilling over into Iraq and stressing pre-existing tensions between the Sunni North and the Shia majority of Israel, but most Muslims live outside the Middle East. The Arab League is an organization composed of Arabic-speaking countries, and it includes all the countries of the Middle East except for Israel, Turkey, and Iran, but also includes the Arabic-speaking countries outside the Middle East in North Africa and the Comoros Islands. Additionally, many minority ethnic groups exist all over the Middle East. If any of the videos hinted at in this video
So, Walter, it's time for a brand new video. Oh, good. What are we going to do this time? Well, this time it's a compilation video. Oh, we take a bunch of videos from the past and make one big, long video. Yeah, it's being lazy. No, it's great. These are videos from years past. How far back? Well, all of them are you playing Joe Biden. No, not that. They're great videos. No, they're not. They are. We put a little makeup on you, grade your hair a little bit, put some sunglasses on you. It's ridiculous. Everyone thinks I look just like Joe Biden. You do. Shut up. It's one of the ones where I debate Grump. Yep, you debate yourself. We dressed you up like Trump, and you play Grump, and then you also play Joe Biden in a debate. Genius, yeah. Okay, that one is kind of funny. I'll give you that. Are you going to watch? Hell no. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Greetings! I am Ahmed, the Dead Journalist, and welcome to another edition of as Crap Election News. I am currently at an undisclosed location in one of the big cities in the United States where peaceful demonstrations are now taking place. Very peaceful. Ah! Pay no attention to the peaceful explosions all around me. Holy crap, it's just celebrations of peace. I think I was safer as a suicide bomber. Okay, moving on. Today, I have the honor of hosting a debate for the upcoming presidential election between two gentlemen we all know very well. First, the winner of the 2016 election, the outspoken and sometimes, what the f*** did he just tweet? President of the United States, Donald Trump. And his opponent, the most questionable presidential candidate in the history of this country, mainly because he lives in the basement and we're fairly certain his wife has him on a shock collar to keep him from saying random crazy stuff. Please welcome the former Vice President, Bin Hayden. Where the hell's a teleprompter? I can't see it with these damn glasses on. How can I give good answers if I can't read them? Ah! Oh, hey, who turned on the lights? Greetings, gentlemen. Hello again, Ahmed. Oh, Ahmed, look at you. You want to fight? I'm ready. There's no woodshed down here, but I'll take you behind it, Jack. Squirrel! What? Gentlemen, let's start right away with some questions. He's lying. Every question Hayden has answered so far has been a lie. There have not been any questions yet. I knew that. You know, cheerleaders are more fun to watch than the actual football game. But Jill says, no huggy, touchy, squeezy. But I say, it's okay if you're sure there are no cameras around. As you both know, the pandemic has been devastating to this country and to the world. Pandemic starts with a P. See? I got my facilities. Faculties. I got my faculties, you know, like teachers. Teachers, like when they write on a chalkboard and their arms jiggle underneath, makes me feel kind of... Mr. President. Yes? You're not the president. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Hey, you still hosting Wheel of Fortune? Jill and I love you. Oh, and that Vanna White. I'd buy her, Val. President Grump. What will you do to prevent any future pandemics? That's easy. No more testing. None at all. See? No test means no one is sick. The fantastic American public will vote for it. Trust me. Plus, all these terrible viruses come from China. I plan to charge China an import tax on each case of COVID. And then I'll build a wall on our border with China. Mr. President, there is no border between the U.S. and China. Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Well, there will be, and Mexico will pay for it. What? Why? Because they still owe us for the other one. Did I ever tell you about the time I got a
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring on the rest of the boys. Ba, 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 ba. All right. You know, that first video I put up was kind of misleading. You know, it was said it was going to explain it. From what I understood, a little different.
What is it you're trying to get explained?
How the regions work that people don't understand how it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to live there and actually, you know, interact with people there to understand it. It's not something that I don't think it's something you can learn and
that's what I mean.
You know, but that goes for anywhere else. Just anywhere else you go. Can't learn a culture just from reading a book. You got to go actually live it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree with that. 1,000%.
The way I kind of understand that map that they were explaining is it's kind of like, okay, over here we have Presbyterians, over here we have Baptists, over here we have Congregationists, over here we have this. You know, they're all different types of the same sort of breed, so to speak. Big deal. So what?
Yeah, I don't understand what the purpose was there. What was their intention to explain?
I know exactly what you're trying to explain. We live with a lot of we live with a lot of different culture groups. amongst each other in peace, man.
Right.
A lot of
Yes.
communities that live in peace.
Right.
Yes.
In these
We
small
have
towns,
everybody in this country. We have
Yes.
everybody in this country. Everybody.
Okay, but
Everybody.
then explain to me why, or help me understand why. Well, never mind. It's all about the mighty dollar. We always impose the negative, but when we go to problem solve, it's just I don't understand why people always look at the negative and think that's what you need to solve. No, maybe not. Maybe look at the positives and what's going on, and how do I extend those positives or more influence those positives to grow bigger. I don't know.
No, yes, you do know. You do know. And so how do we I wouldn't say how would we influence because I'm not going to stand outside with a picket sign saying,
No.
freeze fire, cease fire. No, but shit, man, you if you're human, you got to pick a side. We're wired like that
No, you're
naturally.
not. No, you're
Yeah,
not.
yeah, we
No,
are.
we're not. No, we're not.
Mm.
We're not wired to pick a side.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are plenty
Taught
of
to
people who
pick a
think
side.
this is not our problem. It's not our war. It's not our fault. Leave it alone and walk away and go back to playing Parcheesi.
Okay, but what are you actually going to do sitting in the United States to do something about this?
Well,
Nothing.
something has to be done, Donnie. I mean, I'm just hoping it doesn't spill over, and it's gonna. Listen, we fucking predicted everything that was going to happen with Ukraine, guys. We said it. People were saying, fucking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. I mean, the big wigs, all over 3 weeks. What did we say, guys? Fucking, I know I said at least
You
fucking
said
6 months.
you said you were going to pay me and Donnie our research fee and expertise on that, and we haven't received a check yet, Blaze.
In the form of $1,000. Yeah, I will
Yep,
receive that.
we haven't received that.
What the hell's
That
going
must have
on?
been sent out with the old account. I'll look into that, guys.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
You know what I mean?
No, it's
I'll
no,
get
but
Rosa right on it. Go.
no, but just getting back to, I think a human reaction is, I mean, you can put a little kid uh, with a little reasoning already and show him one violent scene and one other violent scene. I mean, a mother like type scene. I'm pretty sure he's gonna, which one was bad? Which one do you like? And I think that's what they see here. They see the initial attack. They slaughtered 1,400 of them. Did them in ridiculous manners that make ISIS look like a JV team.
What?
So here comes the retaliation. But them guys, I mean, there's nothing small in the Israeli army in the state of compared to New Jersey. And it's just why would you do something like that? What do you think in your simple little Hamas mind you're gonna overrun a Goliath? No, you ain't gonna see. There ain't gonna be no David and Goliath here. Goliath
I
is gonna win.
I think what the reason why they did this, they knew they could do this, but to take and draw in all the other, eventually all the other Arab states that are like-minded with them to all come together and, if you will, surround and sandwich attack and press in and try to wipe Israel off the map. I think that's what their goal was. They knew that they couldn't do their this all themselves, which is why they did a blitz attack like this and then retreated back over the line.
Man, they got two aircraft carriers. I was just watching a special on 60 Minutes. The lady talks to the chief Pacific officer, and that aircraft carrier can generate 370 mission sorties a day with ammunition. 370 at his hand. Donnie,
What?
That's insane.
That's a lot of
I hope
firepower.
no shit, bro. That's
But you
some
understand, there's
serious
a lot of
firepower.
firepower going over there because, you know, you got the other groups, Syria and some of these other Iranian-backed groups. They're already talking about how they got more missiles and more things they can lob to that so-called Iron Dome, and they have more than they can defend. That's why U.S. is there. So if you
Guys,
really want to know what draws us into this war, it's if it spills over and one of them carriers shoots down a weapon or a missile, something going towards Israel, then we just got involved.
well, we already done that. We already shot down drones from Syria heading towards Israel. We
Yeah,
shot
those
down
are
some
from
drones.
troops that are in Syria. But
you know,
that's you're
we
going to
did-
play that off that way.
Well, they said it came off one of the destroyers. One of the destroyers shot it down.
No.
I guess.
No?
All right,
No,
then.
that was okay. There's two incidents that come to mind here recently. You had one ship intercept missiles coming from Yemen heading
Yeah.
towards Israel.
Yes,
And
Yemen.
that was probably from the Houthi. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a slice of the Ba'ath Party. But
Okay, so they're like the fucking orphans on the Warriors movie. Those are
I
the
think they're-
orphans, and they just shot a few fucking drones out.
no,
Is
and
that what you're saying?
they're a prodigy of Iran. Obviously, Iran doesn't fund them that much, maybe because of location.
Right.
Saudi Arabia is on the other side. They don't like each other. The United States needs to be nice with Saudi. I believe U.S. troops are flying into Saudi Arabia right now as we speak.
Yeah, to protect their ass, right?
Exactly. But no, that all so yeah, shit. That that king or that prince, he ain't no dummy.
This is the second time you said that. This is going to be a second time you're going to say it, and you're not going to explain why do you think? Why is he not a dummy? Why do you
Is
think
it
he's a
still
badass?
FOD?
Why is he?
Because he understands Russia and he understands the United States.
Was he taught here in the United States? Did he go to college here?
I don't know.
Are you talking about Saudi Prince Fahd?
Yeah, the one after the old man dies, he becomes king.
Yeah, I believe that's Fahd, and I believe he did attend Harvard University, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, got his education in the West. Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's just signals, fucking.
I just want to know about.
We're protecting our friends. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, they talk shit too, though. But with that being said, we were just talking shit about them a couple of shows back. You know what I mean? Because they get out of hand a little bit.
But they know they know who Big Daddy is.
I guess. It's like the kid that's in a gang that goes out and always starts to fight because he knows the gang will back him up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Donnie, real quick, because I want to sleeper cells, man. This is what I want to do. I want to play this quick video up real quick about this CIA guy talking about could Iranian sleeper cells rise up in the U.S. here? So let's take a listen.
Probably so.
You believe there's some degree of sleeper cells here, and they could choose to rise up? Because the Iranians say they have 100 different targets. Could we actually be one of them here?
The short answer, brothers, is yes, right? So we have both good and bad news on this. So let's start with the bad news. There are unquestionably sleeper cells in the United States operated, directed by Iran. We know they usually operate in 1 to 2 or 3 individuals, normally men, almost exclusively Lebanese or Iranian descent. The CIA and the FBI have long had a pulse on this threat. We have monitored it, investigated it, on occasion arrested individuals, perhaps doubled a few of these folks back on Iran. So we know that the risk is there. So that's the bad news. It's real. The other deep concern is that we have to be right 100% of the time to mitigate these individuals, find this threat. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that every time. So the threat is real. We are going to, unfortunately, probably miss a handful of these folks who come in. So that's the bad news. The good news is that because we have been investigating this threat for so long, we know most of them, and most importantly, we know, and we have indeed told the Iranian government that we know what they're up to and that we will strike back. And if in fact they ever think about it, it will be a new 9/11. Irrespective of the amount of damage that happens in this country, we will respond, we will leave that nation in tatters, and if there's a single leader left walking around Iran, we will hunt them down ourselves or the Mossad. And the other piece, and I think this is so important for the American people to understand, President Trump, what he did by killing Soleimani, the fancy folks in Washington will talk about, the newfound deterrence. We've deterred them. What he really did is he punched the Iranians so hard in the mouth, knocked them out, and put some teeth down into their throat, all right? So what's important now is that if the Iranians want to strike back, they know that we will take a
Mr. B.
I have a question for all of this. They keep talking about these things with Iranian sleeper cells being here and so forth. Who is it? Because it's coming. It needs to be done. Who is it, and where is it going to come from that goes after and takes out Iran's nuclear program?
Probably Israel, if they have one.
Yes, Israel will be the one that takes that out.
Yes,
that was your
Oh,
question.
yeah. No, that was my answer to him.
Yeah,
Who would
my
take it out?
answer as well. Israel will take it out.
Yes, but what a great
They did it
time.
to Iraq. They did it to Iraq. We were like, told Israel, no, yeah, and they're like, hey, we know they got one, and they did without our permission, anybody's permission. Israel was like, fuck you. You know what I mean? These dudes are almost done with a nuclear warhead, and they just went and they took it out. That's it.
Still got what? There was never no nuclear weapons found in Iraq.
Excuse me? No, they were building a facility, and this was way before the war, and Israel wiped it out. It was like, early 80s, shit like that.
Hey, who's this guy talking, man? I can't see his name.
Who's he talking?
What's his title?
What do you mean, what's his title? Oh, I-12? I'm just going with I-12.
No, I'm going off the video. The gentleman that was talking.
Oh, well, let me finish the video then. 1 sec.
Proportionate attack against them. So they harm a head of our hair somewhere. We're
Brian
going to respond
Dean White,
more than they have
former
ever thought the
CIA
United
officer.
States would before. That is powerful. That is important. And the American people should sleep much, much easier knowing that we have somebody at the White House who is willing to take that.
Thank you, Blaze.
So, again, sleeper cells.
Yeah, they're here. They've been here for a long time. Probably Russia got some sleeper cells. A whole bunch of people, jihadist extremist groups got cells here. Our own laws let them come in our country.
Okay, so
sleeper cells have been in the United States
hold on, stop.
before the time my father died.
What's that?
They've been here since before my father died.
Yeah, exactly. They've been here. It's going to happen. It's just going to happen. I'm telling you, there's so many more countries out there that just this fear of Western influence. They're so tired of it. They don't want it no more. Get the hell out. They want us to come back home some places. But I want to call this dude out. I think he's full of shit. Because if they were yes, I think he's full of shit. Because if they were so intent on if Iran harms just one hair on a U.S. head, blah, 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 we're going to do this. You ain't done shit. It's already happened. How many times Iran and their militant groups, the bat groups fired at our ass? Over there doing drones, firing at our ass now. All the other groups that backed up, they're firing drones on innocent people. They ain't going to do shit. He's talking all that shit.
Go ahead, Donnie. Go ahead.
No,
sorry.
And you're talking about taking out their nuclear program. If they actually have the uranium and some of the other stuff to put that together, I don't know what everybody's, oh, just go take it out. No, it don't work that way, man. Look at Chernobyl. Still can't live in that motherfucker. You got to think about what's the consequences of blowing that shit up. Just don't work like that anymore. It's not the coyote with the Roadrunner and just strap the shit to your back, man. No.
Hey, y'all know a Roadrunner. This is for Blaze and Mr. B. A Roadrunner is a small animal, but it can
Yes.
fucking move out. Okay. Yeah. I've showed people.
Anybody who watched Looney Tunes as a child knows what a Roadrunner is.
Yes, I know that. I know that, but people are fascinated that it looks large on TV compared to the coyote. So when they actually see one, and they request, please listen to me, child.
Now there's
I come
another
from
breed of them.
the tribe of Zachariah.
There's another breed of them, you know. They come from the Chrysler Corporation. The Roadrunners.
Yes, yes, beautiful cars. Yes, sir. All right, so what were we talking about?
We were talking about the CIA officer and his full of shit video that he's just using to rile people up. And we need somebody in the White House. Let's think about this for a minute. Do you actually maybe think the White House has the balls to put everybody together and say, look here, now we're going after your ass? Do you really think that's going to happen?
And he's an SM. Super MAGA.
Whatever, man.
Come on, Mr. B.
If Trump were here, we wouldn't be in these problems, but he's not.
Yeah.
Okay, we have these problems. Bring him back, and these problems will get wiped. They're not going to be swept under the carpet. They will be wiped off the face of the earth.
Mr. B, what would Trump do different?
I'm not Trump. I couldn't tell you.
I understand that.
He would do
That's
different.
a good
He wouldn't be
answer.
pussyfooting around the goddamn Iranians.
But you understand, any movement we take towards the Iranians starts a war.
Who's going to protect Iran? Seriously.
There'll be a lot of outcry.
Oh boy, outcry, big shit.
Turkey?
Yeah, everybody's gonna get
around
the area. Yes.
Yeah.
What's going to come out of Istanbul? What?
Some good kebabs.
Yeah.
The best in Germany.
I know. They had a place here on Route 6, right here in the city. The guy did the kebabs, man.
When I was in Washington years ago, I went to a place called Marrakesh, and they had some pretty good food too. But you know what?
As they peel the meat right off the stick, right, D? Is that what you're talking about?
Sure.
They peel the meat off the stick.
Yes,
anyways, look, again, if we go after Iran for any reason, it's going to be escalating to World War III.
The only one I'm really afraid of is Turkey.
I'm not worried about Turkey. I'm worried about China.
No, China gonna sit there, man.
Okay, wait a minute. How do you say China's going to sit there? Where Iran is trying to. How much does Iran send to China's petroleum?
At the black market price, or
I don't care what the price is. I'm asking how much are they giving them?
They're giving them at the homeboy discount.
Okay, so they're getting tons of oil. So you don't think China's gonna fucking be upset with that if we fuck with Iran?
I don't know.
No, their economy can't handle it. That's why they don't go to war.
That's why they won't go to war?
Their dollar is failing. Their economy is failing because they've done the same thing. They've borrowed to pay for their debt, and they're at a point now they're not producing enough globally to do their revenues. Their economy, they got to get their economy right first before they try to go to war with anybody.
Yeah. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for the last half hour of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. Don't forget to check us out, like us, send us some stars on Facebook, FFN Radio Network on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Kicks, D-Link, you name it, we're on it. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, in about 3.5 minutes.
laughter, holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight.
That was years ago.
Now something just ain't right.
Better take it slow.
I see the view stretching before us, cathedral bells and a chorus, morning larks singing out to the dawn. I miss me and you, boy, with style, on our bikes, single file, day drinking at a cafe in Cologne. We stayed out playing past midnight.
That was years ago.
Now something just ain't right.
Better take it slow.
Are we getting old? Am I getting over? Gotta catch my breath before we go. We stayed out playing past midnight.
That was years ago.
Now something just ain't right.
Better take it slow.
We stayed out playing past
That was
midnight.
years ago.
Now something just ain't right.
Better take it slow.
Okay, thanks for sticking around, ladies and gentlemen, for the last half hour of The Way We See It. Again, right here on the FFN Network. Check us out on FFN Radio Network on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, D-Link. I got to have a list. I got to write a list of them down so I could say them all. Look, how crazy do you think somebody's going to get to activate a sleeper cell? Do you think that like we should, be, the U.S. citizens should be concerned about something like that?
Nope.
Do you think it's something that we should avoid, like, Rockefeller Center, things like that, especially in the holidays?
I didn't want to say that, and I don't think the government's going to say that, but I would definitely be super cautious now.
Oh, I sure scared some people last week. Trust me, I got 3 emails.
Let me ask you something.
Wait.
Let me ask you something. You remember these things where they had these people that went, they drove minivans into lines full of people, or they had
Yes.
people go into a shopping mall or wherever it was and started stabbing people alive and whatever else, things like that. What makes you think that they aren't sleepers? What makes you think that they aren't sleepers?
Because they weren't of that
tribe.
Yeah, tribe.
No, a lot
I
of
mean,
times they
we're
found
that.
those people.
Go ahead,
I'm
Donnie.
sorry. Go ahead, Demas.
No.
None of those were again, Middle Eastern gentlemen. They were
But
fucking white boys from here in this country.
okay, but you can still have the same thing with
There.
Caucasian from this country too. You can have a sleeper cell with the same racist bullshit ideas.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And what I think
Hey.
a lot of them that Mr. B's talking about, when they did the investigations, they found that they worked alone. They didn't come through the type of sleeper cells that have big time Iranian backing, like the
Exactly.
guy on the video is talking about.
Domestic
I think that's why.
terrorists. That's what they were.
Bro, and especially with, I don't know, I wouldn't say generation, but I would say our culture, how everything is so downplayed and people are quick to grab. There's definitely been recruiting here. Not to the peaceful Muslim community. No, there's organizations already out there from converted Americans to Muslims, radical Muslims.
Yes,
I
they
know there is.
recruit on social media all that time. I would tell you guys, I watched a movie on Amazon Prime. It's called The Ghost of Beirut. It's got a 4-part series about this bomber guy from back in the day and how the U.S. and Hamas, or not Hamas, the U.S. and Mossad chased this dude and they tried to kill him so many times. And this dude, he bombed embassies in Kuwait and Saudi and he did all kinds of stuff. Couldn't catch him forever. It's a great read, and it can teach somebody that really doesn't know about how terrorist organizations and cells work. It'll teach you a little bit. It's based on actual story or whatever. It's pretty good.
And my
But
next, are you done with your recommendation? Because I have
no,
one.
I'm just gonna say, as far as the whole Rockefeller, don't go here, don't go there during Christmas time. Of course, that's gonna be a part of our lives until going forward forever.
Donnie,
It's always going to be like, don't go in large crowds because somebody's might be acting the fool or they might target you. Don't do this, don't do that. That's just the way of life now.
the media's got to put that out though.
No, but you have to understand that as a person, as an individual, personally. You have to understand that.
I
I don't give a shit where you're at.
I don't think they do. I don't think they could put 1 + 1 to 2, Donnie. Wait a minute. The other average Americans with no military experience, no foreign experience.
You don't
No,
need foreign experience.
they don't think that way though, Donnie.
Blown up.
What's that, sir?
You don't need that experience to know that you can get your ass blown up any day walking around here anymore.
Very.
Gentlemen, can I pause here for a point of order? Blazeman, you had alluded to having received some emails about our show last week that some people were somehow disturbed by it. I'd like you to elaborate on that. I'd love to hear this.
Yes, I want to know that too. Thank you, Mr. B.
They weren't like how can I explain? Well, one of them.
You said scared. That was the word.
One of them. Yes, because of the content. We didn't like intentionally scare anybody. Like it was just the news that we were talking about. You know what I mean? Fighting a war. Things to that nature. And yeah, it was a positive scared. You know what I'm saying? One was from my wife. One was from my wife's friend at work. The other guy was Bo, the dude Bo that comes on and commented a few times on the show. It was interesting, scary. You know what I mean? Was his email. My wife was like, "Oh, babe, I kind of didn't like that show in a good way." You know what I mean? And then her girlfriend was basically the same. The same way. Was good content. You know what I mean? So
tell them we all said thank you, but I was hoping like we scared somebody off with like them 3-letter people.
No. Like I said, it wasn't scared like that.
Can I make my recommendation now?
I'll put them up next time. Go ahead, D.
Eli Cohen. The name of the movie is The Spy. If you got to see it, it's 6 parts.
Yeah, we're gonna. Let me touch base
on Netflix.
Yeah, let me touch base on that in a minute, D. And what I want to do is I want to show the trailer of Ghost of Beirut. It's on Showtime, everybody. So let's take a look at this trailer. Donnie says it's a good show.
I just said interesting.
Donnie.
Okay, Donnie says it's interesting. Okay, let's take a look
Oh.
at it, ladies and gentlemen.
أنا بدي إياك تعرفي كل شيء عن حياتي. يبقى اللي تعرفيه من أنا عن جد.
Now, Donnie, you said this show is based on a bomber, right?
Yes.
And who was he? What jihad was he a part of?
Jihad is.
Yeah, I know.
Jihad.
I know.
There's no. What do you? No. I don't recall.
Was he ISIS? Was he Iranian? Was he?
This dude was back in like the 80s. And
I understand
that shit didn't exist. So
yeah, man.
It's just talking about something based on a story, and we're talking about how long terrorism's been around, and we're all in shock.
Yeah,
No, we've been dealing with this shit from this time.
Yeah, from Jump Street. All right, I got you. Let's check it out.
بس شوي شوي.
In Beirut, Lebanon today, there was a tremendous explosion. TWA Flight 847 was hijacked. Another American has been kidnapped. Who is responsible?
These are not the same terrorists we've known before.
Do you have a name? He only uses nicknames.
We call him Father of the Smoke because he disappears. هذا منو انتحار؟ لا.
تكبس على الزر وبتروح على الجنة.
Our services need some work together.
America has many enemies.
Where is he? Our friends are expected to get on board with our plan, and those that don't will pay a very heavy price.
And with all the respect,
you can fuck off, sir.
This is the same guy from 25 years ago, same guy who's outplayed us ever since. We're in position.
You're not starting a war with Iran.
Target confirmed.
This will haunt you. Think about his wife. Think about his kids.
Three.
راح يعرفوا إنه منا خايفين.
2.
ومش راح نوقف.
1.
Well, that looks pretty interesting.
That gives Donnie $50 coin. I mean, 50-cent dollar coins. 5 of them. Five coins.
I'm talking about to understand.
Because you're the money man. We don't give stars. We give out coins.
Whatever. I just. What's the exit plan? I mean, everybody talks about the Israeli-Hamas thing going on. What do you guys really expect is going to happen when it's all said and done? What do you think is going to be there?
That's the big question, right? That's what we should be talking about.
Because I think there's going to be either ongoing just conflict for the rest of eternity, or there's going to be a point where somebody comes down and says, hey, you either live peaceful or we come wipe your ass out. You know?
Well, they're definitely not going to come out peacefully. And number 2, we talked about flooding them out. That would be impossible, right?
I don't say it's impossible. I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know the logistics over there. I'm not in the ground.
Well,
Yes,
they
you should
can't
be-
use vitamin H, H bombs or whatever else, because then nobody's going to be able to live in that pile of sand, no matter where they are, no matter what their faith is. So they're not going to be able to go ahead and start dropping nukes all over the place. It's not going to happen.
No.
I don't know where the fuck that came from, Mr. B. I mean, why would anybody be dropping a nuke?
I see a pattern. I see a possibility for a nuke site. I mean,
Don't we got nukes that are called like frogs? They're fucking like really small fucking
Tactical
engagers.
nuclear weapons? No, I'm talking about if they wanted to take and just wipe the people out of Gaza, they can go ahead and vapor rub. There you go. Turn it all.
There's innocent people there.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to happen. You can't do this.
No, urban war is not
Right-thinking people say this.
fine.
However, you've got wrong-thinking people, extremists, who are itching to get their hands on such weapons and start using them.
Been that way for the last half a century. Okay, sure. We keep talking about all this. Oh, it's so bad. Everybody in the media is. This is the world we've been living in for the past 50 years. You guys it's just out in the open now. It's easy to see and easy to understand. So,
The internet.
However,
The internet.
wait a minute.
However,
However, you lived it, Donnie. You didn't see it from a TV.
yeah, but still,
You know,
that's what I'm
no,
saying.
no, that was pounded in your
That's a big
daily
difference, Donnie.
event in the army.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What's the end point of this conflict? Even in Russia, Ukraine, what's the end point of the conflict? That Ukraine gets Crimea back and then they go back to being a democratic state that we help them build? No, Russia ain't going to fall for that shit. They ain't going to hear that shit, so that's going to continue on. I mean, what's the end state? That's where I really don't understand why everybody in the media, I don't hear them talking about that much. What you read, everything else, I don't hear about that. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
what I would like to know. What's the end state a little bit more? Because at some point, do you think the U.S. would have to say we either got to go be the tyrants of the world or we just got to be on our own?
Mr. B, come on now.
I don't have a good absolute answer for that question. I wish I did. I don't.
As I say, everybody, I say everybody, I just say when I see on the media, they all want to talk about the Middle East like it's some mystical thing, but it's no different than the same. It's just a different version of the same bullshit we got going on over here or other parts of the world, different levels.
The Middle Eastern people, how they act and how they react and so forth, is very different from how mainstream Americans act, mainstream people from Colombia would act, or from Mexico, or from Australia. Very, very different.
How so? How so? Are you talking about the
You have a great number of people, all of which are of pretty much, if you will, the same faith, the same belief systems, and so forth, and they've been fighting amongst themselves for millennia, and they just don't stop.
So what makes you think that interaction by the U.S. with all our carriers and show of force is going to make it stop? Because that's what I get. That's what I understand when I watch a lot of the media and the news and all this stuff. Everybody talks all this stuff about what's going on. Like, as if you know you got some solution to how to make that fight stop. Because you're not going to make that fight stop either. Shia is still going to fight for millennia going on.
Exactly, but then you have to be cautious of who that reporter is talking about, then that's where they get that narrative decision right there, Donnie. And they report that supports their narrative, be it the Israelis, the Palestinians, or the Hamas fools.
Yeah, that's just everybody create their narrative. Like the little G group guy, their intelligence analyst guy. Yeah, you have to stay out of Israeli affairs. Everybody's got to stay out of Israeli affairs because at this point, I don't think Israel wants you in them anyway. Get the hell out the way. We're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Blaze.
I'm going to say something. I don't give, pardon my language, I don't care fuck all for this way of thinking that we just need to step aside and whatever else. If these people are friends of ours, if they are partners of ours, if they are our allies, we must stand with them.
There's a
You
difference
must
between.
support them. You
I
must
can
give them
support you.
aid and comfort, medical
No, I
help,
don't. No, I don't.
weapons,
No, I don't. No, I don't.
assistance in
No, I
defending
don't.
themselves.
Nah.
We must
Hey,
do it.
hey guys, we got a few minutes left, and I'd really like to throw this video up. It's about a minute long. Well, I'm only going to play a minute of it. It's actually longer than that, but the beginning is interested, and this is one gentleman's take on Israel with Iran, and we can discuss it on next week's show. Let's take a listen.
Don't forget to go to Netflix. Watch The Spy.
Gotcha.
And if
The whole world will change when this war starts because the lights are going to go out and they're going to stay out. Israel is trying to provoke an Iran-Israeli war for over 3 years now, and Iran has done nothing because they haven't been ready yet. But I think they're now getting ready. The globalists want Iran destroyed because it's the only Middle Eastern nation that is capable of producing its own arms without dependent on the East or West. Nothing in the Middle East or in the Battle of Ukraine is going to create a nuclear war that's going to start World War III. That's only going to start when China's ready to enter the war, and so the trigger event for World War III will really happen in the Far East. Russia is an existential threat to the West because of its nuclear arsenal, the largest in the world, which they fully intend to use. I'm 100% sure that we're someday going to face EMP strike, 20, 30 minutes later, a nuclear strike on U.S. military forces, and then the whole world changes forever. The U.S. military is decapitated by a preemptive nuclear strike. Then our globalists can come out of their bunkers and say, we didn't know this was happening, but the only way to defend ourselves is to all join in a militarized global government to prosecute World War III.
Now that's some crazy effing shit right there.
What was the title of that?
A wise man's warning about what's about to happen. It's on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Blaze, and I'm glad you threw up the other video too. that long video basically detailing the site and not only their cultures but the religions that the
Yeah.
Shia and Sunni line, and it was just like, wow.
Right. That was the purpose of me putting the video up. So some of our viewers, if they didn't understand how the region worked, I figured that would help before we went to break, But and plus myself, I need to learn some of that shit. You know what I mean?
You need to learn how to make a good kebab.
Kebab, I know, man. I told you that place they closed down right on Route 6, right down the road from me, bro.
It all comes down to how long you marinate.
Yeah, but that
I think a majority of us agree with that, right? I-12 U.S. has to stay out of Israel's affairs. Yeah, we were saying that. We were saying that in the beginning.
Donnie answered that one, bro.
Yeah, that's just that was just popped up. Anyways, again, we talked about that when we first started talking about this war. We kept saying that we just need to just whatever, advise, get some binoculars and just leave Israel alone and let them go in there and do what they need to do. Okay. Again, what agitates me is, everyone starts their argument out with Palestine. Oh, well, Palestinians shot rockets. No, Hamas shot the rockets, not Palestinian people. And I truly believe that Hamas is fucking stopping some of them people from going to the border or leaving. That's their MO. They need to have children, especially children. Why do you think they grab mothers and children? That's the worst.
I found a shocking, well, I wouldn't say shocking video, man, but I was watching that the bulldozer going through a community and stuff, and the young kids throwing rocks and shit like that, and I'm like, oh wow, that's just a breeding ground. They're throwing them rocks in hate, so you got another generation boiling up right there, man.
Right, and that's what they're being taught, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Listen, for me, if you're brought up hating something, that's what you're going to do. You're going to hate it all the time, So with that being said, for me, I'd like to thank everybody out there that tuned into the show tonight. Don't forget to check us out next Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. right here on the FFN Network, FFN Radio Network on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, D-Links. You know what? I'm going to get this right, guys. I'm sorry. I got to get this right. So you can catch us on D-Links, Telegram, Kicks, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. All FFN Network, FFN Radio Network. And you can catch out our other shows. Tomorrow is the Miss Tammy and Blazeman show from 7 to 8 p.m. and followed by Politicking with Mr. B from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on the FFN Radio Network, FFN Network. Guys, it's always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thanks for tuning in. Peace and love to each and every one of you out there. And Mr. Donnie, go.
Oh, thanks, Blaze, for showing and helping prove the point that hate is taught, not in the DNA. It's something that's taught, so it can be changed. But other than that, think positive, do positive everywhere you can, man. And we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, Mr. D.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, viewers. There's another case of history just repeating itself. And I like the way Donnie broke it down. Y'all have a great evening.
Mr. B.
I couldn't agree with you more, D-Man. Tomorrow night on my show, provided things come together, we are going to break ground that nobody wants to break. We are going to show something that nobody wants to see. But it's nonetheless needs to be seen. And the people need to be educated because our news media just hasn't got the guts to do it. That having been said, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
All right. Very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to check out Politicking with Mr. B again right here on the FFN Network tomorrow, 8 to 9 p.m. Night, everybody.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you